to the EverCast show with Sadlin and Kylan, Joanna and Gladys and Cowboy. We thank you for tuning in to the EverCast show.
Enough is enough. Enough of the same game already. It's time to get some new ideas into this genre. And if somebody was going to do it, it should be EverCraft. We're at the point right now where we're building something that's both heroic and social. We've taken everything we know about games and MMOs in general, and we're fusing the best parts into an original shape, well, that we hope will create triumph and passion in the gamers that play it. See, we were serious about it being a sandbox game.
Hello, and welcome to tonight's episode of the EverCast show, we've lovingly called EverCraft. But before we jump into our topics, we'd like to give a special thanks to you, our viewers, because without you, we'd just be talking to ourselves. We'd also like to say that we're just a bunch of noobs that love what we do, and we love to share that with you. Do you love what we do? Do you hate it? Would you like to be a part of it? Email us at evercast.show@gmail.com to be a part of the craziness that is the EverCast show. But don't pull a Tanlin and mute your mic. We really want to incorporate all aspects of the EverQuest Next community and would love to hear from you. So, for your viewing pleasure, Cal will be announcing the winners of his Minecraft contest. We're going to discuss what we want to build or see built in EverQuest Next Landmark, and we're going to tackle the current roundtable question that SOE has posted about the custom UI, all on tonight's episode of EverCraft. EverCast. And that about wraps up tonight's eCast news.
Well, all right. Hands off, or a round of applause, I should say, to Kailas for that awesome introduction. If there's any mic echo, someone posted in chat that there was, please let us know if it's fixed or if it's still going on. I'm in the wrong Brady box. Anyways, so I believe we're going to start off the show tonight with an article that recently came out from EQ Hammer and a couple discussions that have been going on Reddit and throughout the community, it seems. For a while, well, I should say since SOE Live, we haven't really gotten too much new information about EverQuest Next or EverQuest Next Landmark other than little tidbits, and most of it hasn't been really substantial. Most of it's been like ifs or buts or maybe if you guys like it, we'll do it. But honestly, when I first heard about this, I was a little taken back. I was sort of on the side of, yeah, I'm a content producer within the EQ Next community. It has been hard for me lately to come up with good information to keep my audience interested. But then I took a step back and I looked at it from the developer side. I looked at it from the side of SOE usually putting out things before they were technically ready because they've always had that very open approach and the negative feedback they've gotten from it and the potential loss of sales they've gotten from it. And with that in mind, I completely agree that perhaps this sort of silence that we're in is better for maybe the game as a whole. And I think the community might just bounce back once we kind of get back to in the swing of things, I should say, closer to launch. What do you all think about that?
I think it is pretty amazing how much
Don't forget
the...
your push to talk, Dana.
That just means you guys can't hear me. I fixed it so that if I don't do it, they can hear. The stream can hear, but you guys can't. Now you guys both should be able to hear me. But I think that this, the development for Landmark and EverQuest Next is radically different from other game development, and I think that anybody who doesn't think that there's enough information coming out just doesn't realize how much the developers are working on interacting with us, and we kind of take for granted that they're asking us these questions, and that in asking these questions, it's telling us what they're planning on doing. Like, they asked what your favorite small race is, or what sort of small race that you would like to see in there, and then when they responded to that question, and I'm using this as an example, they said, hey, that doesn't mean that these other races aren't going to be in. That just means that we're going to prioritize which races come in first. And that tells you a little bit about how they're developing the game. And they, it's not like, developer news, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like a conversation, and you just have to understand what you're hearing in that conversation that you're able to have with them. And I think that's that key thing, is that we are able to have a conversation with the developers, and I don't know of any other game that is allowing us to have that conversation with them.
I also read that article, and to be honest, I didn't really take it that seriously. I mean, anyone who has done anything in a pre-launch period of a game ever knows that there are slow periods and that there are long, intensive periods with a lot of information coming out. And every time information slows down a little bit, or people aren't getting the massive amounts of hours of gameplay that they would like to see from the game that they're so extremely enthusiastic for, it's always there's not enough information. I mean, if you see what they're doing with the roundtable, with bits and pieces on Twitter and such, I think that there's definitely tiny bits coming out, but it doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, it will pick up in the coming months, and the slow period we will have now, we will probably never have again. Although there are also plenty of game launches that didn't do it this smoothly, so I think they're following a strict plan, and that is probably for the best.
I actually agree. I don't really think it's something to completely panic over. They haven't backed down from saying that it's supposed to be a winter launch. Just because the information is trickling down doesn't really mean that. I mean, they're probably a lot further along than maybe we're wanting to believe right now, or maybe that we do believe right now, and maybe that's exactly what they want us to think. And apparently my mic is causing echoes.
I do not really think it's an echo. It's more of a little bit of a...
I think it's the room more.
Yeah.
And the mic. I don't think it's a big deal. But no, I agree with you, Kai. But I do also have the feeling that a lot of people have stopped talking about the game. A lot of people are less interested in the game. I mean, we have watched not only our viewers, but other podcast viewers start to decline since the launch or SOE Live debut, and that's expected. But will it bounce back?
Of course it will bounce back.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, all right. But
come on,
how soon? I mean, we're from
let's
a month from beta.
Let's realistically see what it would take for the EQ hype train to get back, right?
Yeah.
It can take a couple of things. A beta announcement, then everyone is all of a sudden super excited again and everything is forgotten. 2, screenshots, videos could boost that quite a bit. I think we're getting something tomorrow if I read Twitch chat correctly, but I guess that's still if everything works out as planned. So I really think that these are the slow spurts is just sorry, go ahead.
Let me go out on a limb and be perfectly honest. Despite the fact that we've got some Sony people in chat right now, I'm losing interest, and not in a I hate the game, I don't want to play it anymore kind of way. It's I don't really know what I'm going to play. I don't know what I'm going to get my hands on. And that's partially because it's a different game than what we're used to. And so I can't imagine what it's going to be because it's not a traditional MMO. And so I can't sit here and go, oh, I want to play a tank. Oh, I'm totally going to be that healer. No, I want to be that melee DPS. Or no, I want to be the range DPS. I want to be a caster. So I feel like I'm grasping at the little tidbits of nummies that they've been giving us. And that's not like a complaint or me whining about it. It's just like I'm starting to kind of, it'll get here when it gets here, and I kind of don't care if it's done tomorrow or if it's done in 2 weeks, because I don't really know enough about it to keep grasping at the straws. I'm not as interested now as I was when I left Sony, when I left SOE Live. And that's to be expected, and I'm sure that that's the way it's supposed to be, I guess. I don't know. But I'm honestly starting to lose a little bit of interest in the game because there's not enough for me to start planning what I want to do, and that's just what I do when it comes to a video game.
On the other hand, I'm kind of going the other way.
Hold the Talon for us, Talon.
I'm going the other way with
what
that.
You're saying, man.
I'm going the other way with that, and that I see. That last weekend, I knew that what we were going to talk about was Landmark, and so I started Googling around on the internet, like, what are some awesome things that could inspire me so that I can try and recreate it in a digital world, like Landmark, right? And I just saw these amazing things, and I'm like, I bet you I could do that. And then as I'm thinking about it, I'm refining down my criteria, not just for what I want to build, but how I want to build it and what is important to me, because all of a sudden it's no longer important that it looks cool. It's like, I want it to be functional. I want it to have, certain characteristics, and I can point out, and I even included that little detail that might have been overlooked, because that's, my hype is building. I'm just thinking about, what I could do if I had those sort of building tools.
I'm very critical about the article and about the recent outreach from the community. I know Into the Cast covered it too, and I believe Locke came up and discussed his little dissent about it. And I totally understand where a lot of people like Kai and probably a majority of the community are coming from right now. But then I also agree, and I think I'm more like what Call has brought up, and that is, we're sort of back in the black box. Temporarily, yes, it's a decline in the community, but it's still like the #1 rated MMO in anticipation on MMORPG.com. Still has a lot of interest. It's just sort of subsided, and it might work to their benefit because they have a lot of big games coming out, like Elder Scrolls Online, that are spending a lot of money marketing their games. This way, they don't have to compete with those big budgets. They can launch, Landmark sort of as an indie Minecraft game, and then they can use marketing from there, and our marketing from producing our videos, showing how awesome the game is. But I do expect something soon. I know Amit on Reddit said about 10 days for new information. They're doing the live stream Wednesday. I think they said it's going to be every month or every week, but it wasn't last week, and I don't know if there's a confirmation for this next week, but I know the roundtable video comes out tomorrow.
There is no live stream Wednesday. Was said in chat earlier. Correct me if I'm wrong, Amit. I did see that come by.
I heard it too.
Alright, so we're in a lull, but I think it will bounce back. I mean, think of this. We were in the black box for how long about this game? And, no one was talking about it forever. Then SOE Live comes up about a week till SOE Live. Boom. Everyone was talking about it. Not even gamers. They were still talking about it. Forbes was talking about it. I think we're going to see that again come towards launch. I think they're just being wise with their resources, and they also don't want to show a game that's not complete.
Well, and I know that part of the reason that hype's dropping off is that I have friends that play other games, and until there is a setting of this is what PvP in the game is going to be like, they're not even going to consider it because it doesn't have what they want. And I know some raiders that are the same way. It's like, well, I have this community, and we're going to do progression, and until we know a little bit more about like what we want, what is available for us in EverQuest Next, they're not even going to consider it because it doesn't have what they want. And so, those people aren't interested isn't to say that they will never be interested. It just means that they're waiting to hear some, some of those things, and it's normal. And I think that it's, that I like the pace that SOE is going with it, and I don't think that I'm in any. I mean, of course I want more details, but I don't feel like I'm being left out, and that is negatively affecting my opinion of the game.
When it comes to me, there's not much that will reduce my enthusiasm for EverQuest Landmark or EverQuest Next. What I wonder though is, do these two games actually need the hype that, for example, on a game like Elder Scrolls Online needs? Like, do you guys think it will play less of a role because EverQuest is already on the map with like other games? Like, I don't really see it being that much of an issue. The hype will be easier to get going because of all the players that are currently in EQ2, for example.
Well, that whole product cycle, Warcraft has 8 years, and it's going fairly strong. It might be losing numbers, but then it picks up numbers whenever it goes into a new market. So I don't think that they're really worried about it. But other than that, other MMOs have that longevity, that how long is this game going to last factor that I'm sure is in the back of their mind, except EverQuest and EverQuest 2. It's like they've been going on and they're just, they're just trucking right along. And so I think that when you're making this sort of game, this is one of those things that you have to consider is like, okay, we can't make a game that's going to last for 3 years. That can't be that can't be what's in our head. We have to make a game for 15 years or for 20 years or until we're no longer using, desktop computers anymore. And I think that gives them a lot of flexibility and also a lot of security because they don't have to, they don't have to like get it big right at front. They just have to make sure that it's there and that it Dave Georgeson says, is that it's the game that you keep coming back to. Maybe you leave and play another game for a little while, but then you come back, and that they have to.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to make sure that their game is one of those, is that it has that plan in place. Like you can come back to it.
Yeah, I totally agree on the developmental side there. And one last point, I totally agree. I keep coming back to this critical mass. It's because that's what they discussed at SOE Live a lot, is that this game will grow in potential. You get your friends playing, and it'll grow from there, as long as it's a good game. And typically that's how it works. The only word of caution I want to add is that people are going to relate this to Minecraft a lot. Okay, and Minecraft, maybe they were able to not spend any money on marketing for a long time and were able to really generate a lot of revenue because it was indie and caught on. But now that it's on the market and now that it's popularized to a point where it's mainstream, you go buy a Minecraft Halloween costume, I definitely think we're going to have to see more marketing, post, Landmark launch leading up to EQN, just to let people know why it's different, why they're going to want to play it. Because a lot of people won't even give it the night or day, I don't think. Tanlin, your mic's muted.
So none of you are hearing me, but all right, I'm just gonna have to do it this way the whole time. As I was saying, that SOE Live or SOE, they have a totally different approach towards the marketing, and they're not going to have to worry about marketing the same way that Minecraft is, because in Minecraft you make a game or you make something in Minecraft and you take screenshots of it, you put videos of it up online, and you show it to all your friends, and maybe some people repost it to other places and say, hey, look, this is really cool. You pat yourself on the back. That's where it stops. There's nothing more. It's all for your ego. And then and then Landmark, they're saying that if you make something and somebody wants to buy it, there is a system in place for you to do it. And now you've got people, they tweeted out that there was people making $1,500 checks off of Player Studio stuff.
Yeah, made $8,000 thus far.
And so it's a completely different marketing strategy. You don't have to go out and try to sell it. You just have to say, hey, it's right here. Come and look at it. And other people will pass that on. Yeah, I made this, and I cashed a check for $1,500. You think that's gonna get other people interested in it more than they would be if they were playing just Minecraft?
I completely agree, and I also want to add the fact that maybe since you can make so much money off of it, I know Second Life does like billboard ads. What if people start making their own YouTube ads, advertising their products that are available in Landmark? It's not necessarily just advertising the game, but it advertises the products that you can buy in the game, shows off the creative potential, a lot of things, and that's completely user-generated. Sony has that going for this game, not only in terms of profitability, but in terms of marketing, I think.
Absolutely. You know, like, hey, I made this. Come and buy it. You know, I think that people are going to try as long as it's within the agreements that SOE, you know, the end users licensing agreement. As long as we're not violating any of that by trying to sell stuff. But it seems like it's perfectly plausible that people are like, hey, I made this, and you can own a piece of this real estate too. Just, you know, $2.99, whatever.
500 SMED bucks.
Right.
Oh wait, but I'll cut you a deal. $4.99 SMED bucks today only. Yeah, no, very true. I guess we're out of time on that topic. I think we covered it pretty well, unless anyone has any last thing to say.
Nope.
No.
All right, so our next segment, we're going to be discussing what Landmark is. Facts we know about Landmark. A lot of people are confused about what Landmark is versus EverQuest Next. Some of it has to do with the way they're giving information. Some of it has to do with maybe we don't have enough information. So we've compiled a list of facts that hopefully are still true. Of course, it's kind of an emergent gameplay and emergent design as far as Sony's concerned. So things may have changed. But we're going to go ahead and go through that list for you guys. I'll start off. First off, there's going to be an adventurer class. This seems to be the main class in Landmark that's going to be available. We don't know if they're going to add any more. We're not going to speculate on that. But we do know that there's going to be a mix between possible combat abilities and creation abilities. And those abilities are going to change whether you're on your plot or out in the outer world. You'll still have abilities to maybe build blocks and stuff to be able to get around when you're in the outer world. But those blocks will go away. And so you won't have smoothing or anything like that to be able to affect the outer world. So they said at SOE Live. Take that for granted. But there's going to be sort of a mix between combat abilities per se and creation/harvesting abilities. Someone want to go with the next one? I don't think anyone's prepared.
No, I got it.
I don't see a list.
Oh, it's towards the anyways.
We know that there are going to have to be harvested materials, and that you will have to go out into the world and search for them, and that there will be different tiers of the same materials.
Yeah, and we know some confirmed materials are water and cloth from the SOE panel, they said. Now, we don't know if cloth is technically a block. They didn't say that, but they did say that you could string together cloth to kind of make tarps and stuff like that. But water as a block is definitely confirmed because they showed like an ice structure, and the person took water blocks to make the ice. So that's really cool. We also have that the voxel brush can change. That's one big difference from Minecraft or any other sort of voxel building game, is that I can place the standard block, but then I can take that block size, shrink it to a maximum point, or sort of increase it, and then I can also delete from that block I place. So I can place the blocks and I can go ahead and cut detail out of that, and then use algorithms that smooth it out and do different things like that. They call them material types. My apologies. They aren't blocks. They technically are blocks till you smooth them, aren't they?
Omi just said that they're going to be showing off a lot of the block types tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Perfect. Very cool. So be sure to tune into that. Now,
Thank
of course,
you for throwing us a bone. We love you, Omi.
So we
will
also
be available in multiple forms. So there's going to be chests that can be on the land, there's going to be personal inventory, and then there's the shared blocks that can be accessed across different plots.
Right, and that was the next thing that is confirmed, is that there will be social tools in Landmark, whether they be guilds or alliances or whatever, but there will be chat functions in the game, just like you would expect from an MMO, even though this is going to be like something very new.
Exactly, and it's actually going to take it a step further too, because not only will players be able to sort of post their builds, but players will be able to review those builds. So there will be sort of most popular of the week, stuff like that. And you can even follow your favorite builder or reviewer. Say you know somebody who has a great opinion, like Chuina or Tanlin, maybe Kalbur, but definitely Kylest. She's good at building stuff. So anyways, you like them, you can follow them, you can kind of get a list of the updates that's going on. And then you can also use that on your mobile phone and different places, so you can kind kind of queue up where you want to teleport when you get into the game. That's something to look forward to. Plots will also be permission based, so a lot of people worry about, oh, I built my building, but I don't want it to get destroyed. Well, you can go ahead and click a little checkbox, and oops, no one can destroy it. So it all has to do with permissions. You can set group permissions, you can set singular permissions, or you can just open your build up to be destroyed by anyone in the world if you're so daring. I think we covered most of it. Is there anything I missed, guys?
It's not in the list, but something I just think of. Wasn't it confirmed that time-lapse videos will be a default feature?
Yes.
Meaning that you can just make those basically on the fly.
This is not confirmed, but it's speculation. But PlanetSide 2 has Twitch integrated right into it, correct, Chuena?
It does, yeah.
So the speculation is that you're going to be able to broadcast directly from Landmark to your Twitch.
Yep, that's definitely true. Also, multiple times, Dave Georgeson and I think Smedley both stated that there's going to be some kind of system-level building available. This may be utility-based artificial intelligence in the future. This may be, I think they said, the ability to maybe create your own PvP battlegrounds within the game. But I wouldn't assume this is going to be available at launch. This might be a feature for later. Oh, and lighting will be a tool that you can place. We saw that in the third time-lapse video they showed where they're building the sort of ogre house. They sort of place lighting, and also in the recent screenshots that Dave Georgeson sent out, it shows some lighting objects that cast light. And the cool thing is, Forge Light, if you guys have played PlanetSide 2, it real-time casts shadows. And so light effects really make a difference. If you put a light here versus there, you can cast it off the foliage in the area, really create some amazing effects.
Did we want to shoot through those images from Dave Georgeson?
Yeah, totally. Would you mind posting the link in chat so everyone can kind of scroll through with us and we can scroll through and talk about them?
I won't be able to, but
I got it.
Oh, there we go.
I got
Paul's
it.
got it.
And here they are. He seems to have built a couch with a wood texture. And then you can see from a like a top-down point of, well, like a three-quarter top-down point of view, you can see the outer wall and then the inside of it.
What would you guys say your favorite part of these screenshots are?
Go.
Don't all speak at once.
Okay, I'm gonna go first since all of you guys are really quiet now. I really like the cloth hanging off the ceiling, and I'm kind of hoping that is one of the materials, because then you could actually make like curtains and like you could do a hell of a lot more stuff with that. So if that's more than just a fixture, then that suddenly gets really interesting. And like if you can even paint on it, then you could even make your own rocks and stuff. So
they have confirmed a
that
painter.
got me hoping. So
just so you know, they have confirmed painting. They haven't shown
but not
what
necessarily.
it can do, but they said it's available. They will be available, which is awesome.
There's a picture, a circle on the wall, and it's a dragon. And I love it because it looks like stained glass. It doesn't just look like a painted picture of a dragon. It actually looks like stained glass because it looks like there's almost like there's lighting behind it. And so I don't really know if it's actually a window, but if you look directly to the right of it, there's an archer's window. So I can't tell if it's stained glass or if it's just a really pretty picture, but I love the dragon.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I want to point out that window and the arches you see, those are all used with the in-game tools. So you take your block and then you start deleting from the blocks that you place, something that's not available in any other game that I know of.
Yeah, that was going to be my favorite thing, is the attention to detail that you can achieve by having the blocks around that archer slit are beveled so that just like you would expect from a tactical point of view, is that you'd want to have more range of motion on the inside of that so that you could, move a little to the left or move to the little to the right and not lose your ability to fire through that little slot. And that's one of the things that you can definitely tell that the person who was building it, they paid attention to that and they beveled those edges.
I just love the scaffolding and the detail that you can put in with smaller blocks. That's the one thing in Minecraft that I really hate, is that it's all the same size blocks, so you can only do so much.
Can we have the game now?
Yeah, can we have the game
I'm looking at these pictures and I'm like, I want to do this. I want to build just
It's
like
gorgeous.
this.
It is really cool. I can't wait to see it actually in person in a video moving around.
Right,
seeing the
and
things
see the
move.
thing is that I think that it's nice. This is good, but I want to show the videos or show images of the things that I want to build because I mean they're a little bit more grand than that. But in time.
See, this is what actually gets me excited about it, is the building, not the playing, the building.
Well, technically, that is the playing.
Oh my gosh.
It is a building.
I just pulled a tandem.
I just
Oh,
have to
no.
say that so I'm probably gonna butcher this person's name. Shylock Stargard says, I want to build the TARDIS in EQNL.
That would be great.
Oh my god. You know what? You build a TARDIS and I will build the Weeping Angels all the way around it.
Okay, so
Omid says he will be rewarding people for
we're
creating
not blinking in the
monuments.
game. Got it. Okay, no blinking.
So I guess now we're going to return to our landmark discussion because we have so much more to talk about and talk about our builds and things like that. But we need to hear from Call and our Minecraft contest, which has been going on for about a month now. We have some really cool things to show, and we're going to show the winners too.
All right, let's see if I can bring it up.
I am ready when you are.
It should be good to go.
Most of you are linger too long, and I'm gonna go straight to the prices. Before I start, I want to give a big shout out for the people who have been helping with the server and didn't necessarily enter their builds because they are heavily involved in my own stream. So big shout out to Fomix, Dark Viper, OmniTG, and Trust, and Vodka Water. They've been basically building a lot of the bigger builds that we're doing and we're gonna keep doing in the next couple of weeks. But those weren't the guys that actually entered their builds. So for the prices, the top 3 builds will receive a prize, and we're gonna start at, was it 9 or was it 8? It was 8. So this is the first build, built by OmniTG. So he's not going to receive a prize. It's a pretty awesome build, but considering he's heavily involved in my stream, I didn't really want to include him in the competition. Either way, I want to show it for you guys anyway. He basically built a giant tree village. It has interior as well, but I don't want to linger too long on these builds. The server is open if you want to take a bigger look at stuff. So I'm gonna move on. Let's see what is next. I really like the small farm. I do not believe it has an interior. Oh yes, it has the start of an interior and a pretty interesting looking. Yeah, I don't know the English word. I'm sorry, but a fireplace. Oh, I do know the English word. It's actually really easy. And then we're gonna move on to something I really liked. It's not done yet, but the entrance looks really awesome. And then you go in, and then you have these long hallways, which really remind me of, say, a dungeon in an MMO or something like that. So just walking through here, I had to feel like, oh well, they're gonna be traps here and everything. And this bridge just looks. I really like the looks of this bridge. Yes, that is Ross, his build. He also built a city on the other side. Let's quickly feature that as well. So, yes, and then we're gonna move on to a pretty awesome looking temple. I believe it's unfinished, but I went over all the things in and I just had to include it here. So yeah. And I believe this was actually built by Pentapod, who I think is in channel at the moment. Then we're gonna move on to something that started out as a castle, but it turned it like later evolved into a castle with a little village. I'm not gonna show all the interior, but he spent a lot of work on, like, he has a little train track going down. I believe torture train chambers, prisons, all sorts of stuff. And then he was kind of done with that part. He was like, yeah, we'll add a little village on the back. And I believe this actually opens and closes, but I'm not gonna mess around with that because I'm gonna break it or stuff like that. So this looked really nice as an interior thing. And then we're moving on to the prizes. For the third prize, who will receive a collection of the game's commandos. We're gonna move to prize 3, which is not a giant build. It's built by Tobran and a collection of friends. And the reason that we found that this one was the interior, which looks, well, first of all, naming your build. Not many people did this, so this was for me like, yeah, I like this. Actually having it a name, and then like the interior of this thing just looks awesome. Like it looks like an actual tavern. He showed me that like this portion could actually go up and down. So it could be a stage, or it could be a selection of seats, which I found to be a really smart idea. And there's a giant golem in the kitchen. I'm not sure what's doing there already, but this is a pretty awesome place to say have a drink in Minecraft, I guess. So congrats on that, and then we're gonna move over to the... Oh, hang on, I want to show one more thing. He's actually working on a build on the water. I believe it's gonna be some type of arena gladiator type thing, but it's still a work in progress. The picture on the wall is actually a picture of the region. And then we're gonna move over to the second prize, which is won by Kalinar. He also named this build. It's the Wandering Eye Tavern and Inn. And I really liked how this house looked. I mean, this kind of shows how much he can do with just a limited amount of pixels, blocks and block types and fixtures in general. Like, there's a little, what is it, bot, house, rooms, inns and stuff like that. And of course a kitchen, because, well, everyone needs food. A hot tub, yes, of course it's a hot tub. I'm sorry, yeah. There was something else here. No, that's storage. This was not a winner, but I quickly want to feature it. This was one of the first castles that was built by Fomix. So he didn't really enter into the competition, but it looks pretty... Oh, yeah, that's why I should be careful. It looks pretty awesome as well. So we're quickly going to feature that as well, because Fomix has been helping me a lot with making dragon statues and giant cranes and stuff like that. Crazy stuff, to be honest. And then to the winner of the contest, which is going to be Middle Earth Kron. And this guy did a lot of work. Every time I was on the server, he was on the server. He finished his build 2 weeks ago, and since then decided to expand it and continue working on it. So the walls you see are unfinished, but it's a little town surrounded by a meat hall, and I'm really happy about this build because if you guys look over there, there's the city that I started on. And I was a little hesitant to give him like such a large area close to the town, because you never really know what people build, right? Well, it was definitely worth giving this guy the room to build. So much work. This meat hall is just amazing. It has an interior and everything. A throne, like you can actually, like, for those of you who saw the Beowulf movie, I really, this area really reminds me of, say, that big room. And then, yeah, big ship. This is an inn. Then there are a couple of farmhouses, a giant tower. I really like the bridges across the swamp as well. I offered to like remove the water, but he was like, nah, I'll work with it, which turned out to be really good, really nice. And I assigned this land yesterday, so he's gonna continue building, and I'm sure it's gonna be awesome. So that's the winner of the contest. There's plenty more on the server to show, but we're gonna back to you guys for now. So back to you guys.
Holy cow.
I'm blown away. Absolutely blown away.
And this is just with blocks, guys. This is just with blocks.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing, I must say.
I want Kailes to talk because she got Minecraft for the first time yesterday, and she has so much that she wants to say. Let's give her the opportunity because she's never played it before.
So a good friend of mine, we used to play World of Warcraft together, and he's left the game and came back and left the game and came back to play with me. And he's like, Ange, I'm really sorry, but I kind of hate the game now. I can't do it anymore. I need to play a game with you. And I was like, I'm sorry. It's Christmas time. I have family and kids and people and things and stuff. So he's like, you know what? Damn it. We're going to play the game. And he went and bought me Minecraft yesterday and sent me the key. And we get it installed and I get to play. And oh my God. I'm sorry. It's not a pretty game, but it's a pretty game.
You need to add some nice texture packs.
I mean, really, it's not a pretty game, but it's a pretty game. There is day and night, and when you look up at the sky, like you can see the stars change. That's epic. I love that. They built tunnels with caves and lights and fires, and you can farm, and you have to eat, or you die. And the zombie, oh my God, and there are spiders in Minecraft. Oh my God, there are spiders in Minecraft. Why didn't anybody warn me of the spiders?
Oh no. Yeah, they're deadly too. Honestly, Minecraft has a lot of features, and we're going to segment into that now. What makes Minecraft so amazing, what we enjoy about Minecraft, what we want to see come EverQuest Next Landmark. Do you guys expect more from Landmark because of all the features available in Minecraft?
It's Legos for adults. Well, it's not even Legos for adults because a kid can pick up Minecraft and play it just the same way. And but it's just the simplest thing. It's here are tools to build things with. What can you build? It's so simple, and it's. I'm able to read the chat, and now I see people that are saying that, like, oh my goodness, I feel completely talentless, and I feel that way, but at the same time, I'm like, I know that I'm going to be able to build something that other people aren't even going to be able to imagine, and it's really just an exercise of your imagination, and MMOs, you are exercising your imagination in going through doing the quests, but you're on rails, or you're being guided, or maybe you have class restriction or race restrictions, and Minecraft and Landmark, it's just removing all of those restrictions and saying whatever you can imagine, find a way to make it work.
Yeah. The only thing that I worry about when it comes to my creativity and building is I really suck at pixel graphics, like a block here, a block there, a block here to make a sphere and things like that. And it sounds pretty simple, when you build one level, but then you start adding all the other levels and it gets really confusing. I'm going to be really happy when I can smooth things out and not work with, full 90-degree angles all the time. That's my biggest, why I'm happy about Landmark. Plus the graphics are awesome, I guess.
And that when I hear about Landmark or about Minecraft, that's one of my big complaints. Is it looks like it's 8-bit, and as soon as you can remove that, it's like, oh my God, what all can I do with actual? I mean, instead of 8-bit, give me 64-bit graphics, something like that. I don't know.
But then, did you just see all of the stuff that people submitted that people built, and you're still going to complain about, oh my god, it's 8-bit graphics?
Yeah, but
A
they're
little.
really talented people, because most things I built in Minecraft do not look like that at all.
That's the time. Time.
It's not just time, it's skill. It's time and skill. You need to be able to know your tools and know how to build, but yeah.
But, like, one thing you have to argue, though, is anyone can pick up Minecraft and play, like, very easily. Sure, you might have some trouble making round shapes or finding the right combinations, but you will be surprised how easily stuff is actually built in Minecraft chat. But, like, with Landmark, people like me, I want, like, if they would give me, like, all the tools I would want, I would go as far as, like, I want to do exactly what the art team is capable of doing. Say it's like, well, basically with your normal 3D modeling tools, which is going to be probably impossible to do, considering the entry level of building stuff in Landmark needs to be low enough for everyone to do their thing. Because if it isn't accessible, there's no way Landmark is going to be popular or picked up, because that's the entire thing, right? It needs to be accessible, and everyone needs to be pick up their tools and build.
That's one thing we forgot to mention about the facts. Jake Sons, he's one of the, I guess, the UI designers. He said that we're going to gain abilities as we kind of level up in Landmark. So keep it simple in the beginning. You won't have all the tools available to you. But as you play around, as you do things, then the new things will be unlocked. So there will be not as much of a learning curve, and everyone will be able to master the tools, because the developers, remember this, developers are using the same exact tools we'll be getting to create what they're creating. So anything they create, we as a player can create. It just depends on how easy to use the tools are and how they teach it to us, really.
Yeah, I'm
That's
really
really
impressed.
awesome. One thing I do, the thing I love about Minecraft, I think, I don't play in creative mode because I love the danger inherent when you first kind of pick it up. Like, you die when you pick up that game because you don't know what's coming at you. There isn't much told to you. You learn throughout the process. And
I
maybe
didn't
look
know
up
that.
some guides. I know I looked up some guides at first. Yeah, exactly, right? At SOE Live, they stated that Landmark was going to be sort of a frontier-based game. So you're going to want to rely on players to build stuff, things like that. But they didn't really mention danger too much. It wasn't questioned or anything like that. So I'm interested to see, are we going to fear for our lives when we're exploring in Landmark in any way? Is there going to be something dangerous that comes out and stalks us that we're going to have to worry about and kind of survive off of? That's one thing we have not heard at all about Landmark. It's something I'm really interested to hear.
Yeah. I'd have
Figured
fun either
Paul would
way.
chime in with this one. He loves challenges in games.
Thinking about it, though, like, they have talked about basic combat in Landmark 2 in a degree, so there needs to be something to combat. I think a lot of us will be very disappointed if that's just going to be rats.
True.
So, I mean,
Minecraft has like 5 mobs.
yeah,
Wouldn't
but
we be happy
like,
with that in Landmark?
I would be very surprised if it's going to be like very similar to like how it is in Minecraft, because in Minecraft, especially when you first pick up the game, it's kind of, I wouldn't say scary, but annoying, because it's getting dark. You haven't really figured out how to make a torch yet, and you have like this little cave that you blocked yourself in, and now you have to wait for 30 minutes for it to get light again. I mean,
Creepers.
that's I wouldn't really be satisfied if that's going to be the AQ Landmark experience. And I also think that, like, EQ Landmark is not going to be Minecraft. Like, there are going to be things in Minecraft that are never going to be in EQ Landmark and the other way around. So I'm not really too worried about that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd be okay with that too, as long as EverQuest is proper.
One thing that makes me want to respond off based on chat is Landmark for me is going to be if I'm not going to be building, I hope to be role-playing. Because in every single game I've played the last 10 years, I was being held back by the atmosphere and environment of the game, because there was no places, empty places where you could roleplay. Well, in Landmark, if the place isn't there, I'll just build it myself, and then we can do a roleplay session right there. So that is something that also really appeals to me, and that is something that a lot of people might not inherently link with the game itself at the moment.
And I honestly never would have pegged you as an RPer. I had no idea.
Well, hello, here I am.
I RP, I swear.
No, I think it's great. I was RP officer for a guild that I was in for the longest time.
I like RP. I think we should make an RP guild come Landmark. I think it would be a lot of fun.
We are starting a D&D campaign next week on stream. If everything
Really?
Somebody
goes
just
towards
shut
to
down
plans
Pentapod.
and does their homework.
Oh, Pentapod. You gotta ask permission.
We're so sorry.
You guys want to post a link? That's cool. We'll give you permission.
How about we
trust you.
just like, yeah, I'll deal with it.
Can-
Hang on, let me open up the stream and start modding people.
Yeah, certain people. Yeah, but I think there's a lot of crossover that we will see in Minecraft as far as the building. I think you guys have a great point on the fact that, not everything's going to be Minecraft. It is a different game, and, Landmark is so about social opportunities, like role-playing and just getting together with your friends, that the kind of danger and limitations that might come with a normal Minecraft server definitely sort of limit the amount that you can actually participate and have fun in. So I'd expect something different, but I want the resource system to go deeper than just materials for building at the same time. I'll totally be happy if it is just building, but I'd also like to have a little danger, a little food, I don't know, something that makes it more of a game than just sort of an art program.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I'm most excited about, and I'm wondering how they're going to implement it. Because then someone was asking me the other day about like different type of engineering feats that can be accomplished. Like if you, like in Landmark, is there going to be flowing water? And if there is flowing water, can you have water mills? And if you have water mills, can you use that to generate, energy? Well, not generate energy, but generate some sort of motion. Because
now they did say as we live tools. There's going to be more advanced tools that have been announced, where there will be the basics like the hammer and stuff like that. And say you want to mine mithril, one of the examples is, well, you go to the natural resource of the mountains because of course you want rocks, you go to the mountains. But mithril of course is way down deep inside, so you'll have to upgrade your tools with the materials, sort of like Minecraft. It might go a little deeper. And if that system's in place, then why wouldn't it be more? Why wouldn't it include food and water mills and all kinds of stuff? Because it's a similar system.
I don't want it to be too realistic, though, because I don't want to have to deal with the engineering, with like building the scaffolding and build the mechanical things to lift the 10-ton boulder, and build the pyramids, or lift the stones of Stonehenge using primitive tools. It's like, can I just put that block right there? And we imagined that I engineered a way to get it there.
That's true, and we haven't heard anything about scripting yet in Landmark. What kind of scripts are going to be available, stuff like that.
If any, right? Because they haven't
any.
said anything about scripting yet. I honestly do not think that is something we can expect at launch.
Yeah.
But games as simple as like Second Life have them. Minecraft has it. Why can't EverQuest Next have it?
Because they have a lot on their plate at the moment,
Yeah,
chat.
yes.
Slow the fuck
Do you
down.
want to lose simple features because you want to go for the big picture? I don't know.
But for me, the best way they could possibly implement scripting would be if they would allow LUA to be just used in their voxels. If we could get that interaction going, then people could make awesome things.
Yeah.
Like mini games, but also gates that go up and down, stuff like that. Then the sky really is the limit. Because then if you make a windmill, you could actually make it move.
Yeah, it's true. And if you destroy one part of it, then all the blocks sort of physically interact with each other as it crumbles and stuff like that. And that can give you a lot more ability to create things. Not only the water movement, but I still want to make a game where you sort of catapult the other person's castle down. Well, I can make a little game out of that. When blocks are destroyed, they fall down, stuff like that. That would be amazing. And beautiful.
See, and that's where I get entirely excited about the MMO part of it. Is I build a castle over here and my force is guarding it, and you have your forces over there and you build your fortress, and every once in a while we just go to war.
That'd be awesome. We're gonna have to take a break before we go to part 2. We still have so much stuff to discuss, like
Yeah.
the round table, way more landmark stuff to discuss. I believe we're gonna cue a video.
We have a choice of 2 videos. We were going to play one. There is the Creating the World panel from SOE Live, or the someone creating Disney World in another game. Forget which one.
I
it
want to
was.
use the Disney World when I talk about my landmark creation, and I think it's important because a lot of people haven't watched this panel. I was lucky enough to be in the front row for it and got a lot of information, but it covers all the things that we've sort of talked about and more in regards to landmark that people have simply forgotten because that's the only place it's available.
So reinforce it.
Well, let's reinforce it, and we'll be back after a little break after you guys get a chance to watch the video and catch up. If you have any questions when we get back, just go ahead and post them in chat.
All right.
I believe Call won't be joining us for the second half because he has a wonderful interview in the morning. So if you want to say goodnight, Call, before we cut you off.
Yeah,
Good
guys.
night, Call.
Good night,
Call.
everyone.
And thanks to Call for the Minecraft contest. It was fantastic, some amazing builds, and we hope you guys like the contest that we do for the community. We're going to keep on chugging them out, and if you guys have any ideas, be sure to contact us.
Yeah, we'll be contacting the winners tomorrow morning.
Yeah, definitely.
Or well,
Yeah.
it's already tomorrow morning, but like whenever I wake up and do my shit,
That's more
do my stuff.
here. Yeah.
So don't go
So,
anywhere. Stick around. We're just going to play a video, and then we'll come back after a short break.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.